Demo of TPCS factory module now. Like sir said, it like from the beginning till the end. Okay. So the factory module functions will start with a sample. They get the sample order from the customers. So in your case, they will receive the request for sample from K Venture and they will start entering the sample order. So before that, there'll be tech sheet. So if you're providing tech sheet to the factories, they will record the data of tech sheet. Any revisions that they receive from the customers, the revision also, they will record it in the system. So this is our tech sheet. So when you open tech sheet, you will see all the recently created tech sheets. And I'm going to filter one particular style number, style name. So for this style, there are multiple tech sheets, different versions. So from this screen, I go to this action and then edit view. You can save a new version. You can create a new version. You can put in, take it into Excel or print. Different options are there. So this is the already created text sheet. There will be a style name and this text sheet number is automatically generated. This is created for which customer or the designer name. What is your sample size? What's the style code or product reference? Everything will be here in the header section. And then we have the product information. There are two sections. One is the general information, like for the technical information. Second one is the bill of material information. So these are the two major categories we collect data. So under the general instruction, we have the product images. So you can enter the product image, front view, back view, like that. You can give a title and then you can attach the images. And for the images also, you can have multiple description. One sec. So for each image, you can have multiple descriptions you can enter by clicking this button and you can enter like number one, half sleeve. I'm just giving some generic comments. Okay, number two. So basically you will enter some kind of technical details for each and every image. So here the descriptions will keep adding. You can add as many descriptions as you want. So it is saving now. The data will be saved. And so that next time when you open, you will see the image with these markings and the descriptions. If you want, you can again annotate, add, further descriptions. So you can have like limitless descriptions and technical details you can add for each and every image. And then brand, logo, printing details. This is basically to collect the artwork, size and position of your logos and other instructions. And then measurement details. Packing and labeling instruction. This again you have the particulars, what is the size, position, notes. In packing, they have this placing clips, tissue paper details, price tag, all those information will come in the packing, care labels and all. And then these are the general instructions. Notes. These notes now we have made it like a messaging system. So which date, which particular user, what he is communicating. So everything, every remark related to corrections, changes or approvals, customer comments, everything can be captured under notes. So after that is the material section. In material section, there is like fabric section, sundries section, finish and embellishment and packing. So and then is your in-house process and outsource processing. So it's a complete tech pack. Once tech packs are created, that centralized data is maintained for all the stakeholders to access the tech sheet anytime. So they can search for a particular style or all styles and filter based on customer, tech sheet number, color, and then view the tech sheet or print the tech sheet, wait in multiple versions of the tech sheets. All that is possible. So for the factory, when they get a new style and they're going to create a new style, then they will start entering the tech sheet. Some of the factories, maybe in your case, you will always give the tech sheet. Sometimes the factories will not receive the tech sheet. Instead, they will receive a physical copy of the samples or an image of the sample, and then their technicians will work on the tech sheet. Okay, so once the tech sheet is ready, then it will go through the approval process, and then the tech sheet is ready. They will prepare the sample order. So if you see, there are multiple stages of samples: concept and design sample, proto sample, fit size sample, like this. You can click this button to see or create a new sample. Suppose you want a size set sample or a pre-production sample, PP sample, it's all there. So if you want any other stage, you can add here. And the factories will give the instruct. Even in the factory, there'll be 2, 3 departments. So one department, the merchandisers will work with the customers to finalize the tech sheet. After that, they will give instruction to the team, the development team, to start making the samples. So if you see, I click this button here, concept and design sample. I see there are 4 samples are already made for the concept and design sample. One on 11th January, 24th February, 12th January, 24th February. So some of them are dispatches happened. So courier document reference is there. So you will be able to track the stage of samples from this particular tech sheet itself. If you click proto, then there's one proto sample is made. This is fit sample. 2 fit samples are made. So this one particular style, how many different samples you have developed, you will see everything here. Okay, so if the team they want to create one new sample, they'll go to this and click this button, prepare sample order. So data from TechPack will be automatically copied to the sample order, the style number, color, and everything. Only quantity and required date manually they will enter. This is a sample order. So if you see the size XS, yes, these are the configurations we will do one time, whatever size is applicable for you. Samples are made in 2 sizes, L and XL, 2 pieces. So this is how the sample development team will see the data. Like after the tech pack is ready, they will place the sample order. This merchandising team will give instruction for them to develop. Then they will see it in the list of sample orders, and then they will go to here and edit and see what sample they have to develop. And then they will select the same style number and go to tech sheet to see the complete technical instruction, and then they'll start making the samples. Okay, so to start making the samples, they'll collect material, basically collect material from the stores, and then they will hand over the finished sample, FTN, finished goods transfer note. Once the samples are done, every day, whatever samples they've completed, they will hand it over to the stores where there's a display area or a logistics area where all the samples are kept. And we also have option to take QR code for these samples. So there'll be a sample number and the style number, date, kind of information. So they can stick it on the sample piece and keep it in their delivery area, so that if some samples are lying down without any tag, they'll be able to easily find out with that code. Okay, this is one thing. The sample FTN means samples are already produced, so it will reflect in the stock statement. Then they will do the sample dispatch. Samples will be delivered to the customers. So once the customer receive the sample, they will physically check the sample and they will do the approval. In sample approval, if suppose dispatches are made, but approval is not received, those kind of sample dispatches will display over here. And then the merchandiser will start following it up with the customer that they've sent a sample, you have to approve it like that. And then they will update the status. Status is this pending, approved, approved with comment, on hold, redo, rejected, or awaiting feedback from the customer. So these are the stages, approval stages. So if they approve it, that means the sample is ready. Then they will go ahead with a bill of material preparation. Again, data from the tech pack will be copied as a BOM. If there's any fine tuning they want, they will make it and approve it and lock it. So that when the bulk orders are received, their BOM is already available. See, in many factories, what happens, the pre-production documentation is not, properly maintained. So they will have multiple versions of tech pack. They will not know which version is approved, which version is given to the customer, what is the feedback given by the customer. Those kind of information they will not have. So causing confusion during the production stage. So that's the reason we have this sampling module even for the factory people so that they record and keep everything ready for their bulk production. So when the bulk orders are received, they'll be ready with a BOM. They will know what material quantities to use, who's the preferred supplier, because during the sampling time, they would have finalized, some of the suppliers. All those informations will come automatically so that they can, buy from the same supplier and all. Clear? And yeah, we have one more thing. After the tech sheet, there is a cost working also for the factories to give pricing to their buying houses. They will also work on it's a open costing. The data from TechPack will display automatically. If you see the same sections like fabric, sundries, those same sections will display, and the costing team will give the prices. And if they want to, increase the buffer wastage and all, they will do. And then system will calculate the summary. This is a summary. This is the basic cost. And then rejection percentage. Rejection also will be added to the costing. And then overhead, profit margin, FOB price. System will calculate this FOB. So they will give the material price, outsourcing cost, in-house cost. There are sections like this, in-house labor cost, outsourcing labor cost. So with all this data, system will prepare this summary sheet. From this summary sheet, you will know how much is the price they have to quote to the customer. So this is the price factory will quote to the customer. Okay, after this, so this also like we have approval process for the cost working. Once approved, that costing sheet nobody can change or edit. But in case if there is any revision from the customer, they will be able to do the amendment. With the record of the past data with the version numbering, they'll be able to do the amendment. Okay, and then we have reports, sample order report, pending samples report, pending samples like the factory wise. And we have this report to check the conversion rate from sample to sales. Then monthly samples, how many samples you've done for the customer, like that, some kind of analysis we will have. So this is like the sampling. Once the samples are approved, then they will get the bulk order, sales order. Is there any queries till this? So, okay, let's move on to the next one. That is the sales order. So now that the sales samples are done, then the factory will receive the sales order from their buyer. So it's showing the recent data. Let's just go back to some old date. So these are all my sales order. I can reorder the columns. Suppose I want to add date, which customer has given this order, which user has entered it. Let's search for the same polo. Okay, these are all my sales orders for the same style. In one sales order, there can be multiple styles or same style, multiple colors, different sizes, any combination you can receive the order. So this is the same raw data that is received from your customer. Sale order. I mean, the factories will receive from their customers and they will record the sale order in the system. Once the sale order is entered, then the system will reflect that in the releasing, IO releasing. IO releasing is like one sale order, you can release one IO, or one sale order, if it's a bulk quantity, they will split that into multiple internal orders, and tracking and following up becomes easier with a smaller quantity. So for that reason, we have releasing of IO. They will not do any entry here. It will just show all the sale order number without IOs, and then they will select it and then select options like one IO will go as one PO, or they will again split the quantity like that. Options you can select, and accordingly IO will be released. So IO is nothing but your simple order, the simplified form of your sale order, which is given to the production team. Your production tracking, purchase tracking, everything will happen with reference to IO number. On releasing IO, system will automatically calculate the requirement for that IO. Because during the sampling stage, we have the tech pack, we have the costing, and once costing is approved, it is converted to a bill of material. So now you know what material is required for this particular style at the time of receiving bulk order. So system will automatically calculate the report. Raw materials required. Raw materials required for the IO with ETD summary. Same report, we have multiple options. So this is the calculation system will do for every order number and date, style number. How much is the required quantity? This particular item, 18-liter branded buttons. Required is 1,100. How much? Sorry, 11,000. How much they are indenting? How much they are purchasing? So this report will show the entire information. So this required quantity calculation will happen automatically from the system. This is full required quantity to execute that particular order. So once the sale order received and quantities are confirmed, then the material team will run the material planning. Here I have not selected any parameter. So system will list the material requirement for the entire orders you have. So suppose the factory has like 500 running orders. Someone should check for this 500 orders whether their inventory is okay, sufficient, or it is shortage or it is excess, right? So then only they will be able to buy the material and keep it ready for the production. So that's the screen, material requirement planning, where you just display System will calculate for each and every order in your factory. This order number, style, color, then order quantity, and then item, color, size range, how much is required, already issued. If there's anything already consumed, it will deduct because they should not consume again. So this is balance required. For this balance required, system will check if stock is available. If you see this first case, stock is already available, so they don't have to purchase anything. So two purchases, zero. So there is a calculation to find out how much quantity to purchase. If stock available, if pipeline available, if already consumed, everything it is taken into account and it's calculating how much they have to purchase. So the factory will check this report for all the orders. It will be sorted by ex-factory date. Whatever is the earliest order, system will sort it first. If stock is available, sometimes the common materials stock will be available. System will allocate the stock to multiple orders depending on the ex-factory date. Here it is allocated. Available stock 500, it is allocated. 3 numbers allocated, 5 numbers allocated. Here there is no stock, so it is 0. It cannot allocate. So if stock is not there, then the quantity will reflect under to purchase. This much you have to purchase. So from here, if you click this button, if you click this button, then system will give you the list of all shortage materials. This is all my shortage against this order number. 1890 is shortage. Right? So if you simply click this button, factory will prepare the material planning team will prepare a request, purchase request. Ideally, in the other systems or Excel based or Google Sheet based, they have to prepare this entire material planning and then they have to copy this into another sheet with wherever there is a quantity. Again, the purchase team will copy the same data into their purchase order supplier wise, one by one, because they can't get all the materials from one single supplier. So they will have to segregate. If suppose they want like 50 materials they want, they will have to segregate it supplier wise, and they may give like 6 purchase orders or 10 purchase orders to different suppliers. But here, when you do the purchase order, because we are going through the material planning module, system will tag each and every requirement with reference to order number, and there is a preferred supplier for every material that is decided at the time of sampling. So when you go to the purchasing module and they release a purchase order, display from indent, this will show all the pending indents. The purchase team need not remember, what are the requests they've received, which one they processed, which one they did not process. All that they don't have to remember. So they go to the purchase, display the data. So these are all the indents they have received and purchase orders are not given yet. And system will also show a preferred supplier here. This one has to go to ARC Fabric. This one have to go to BH Accessories, right? And then the prices are taken from the approved price list. So for every supplier, there will be a approved price list. Whatever material they are buying from that particular supplier, there is a approved price. So approved prices are taken. This is the price as given in the budgeting sheet, cost working stage. If this particular style number has a cost working, then data will appear. What is the required date, PO delivery date? If you just save this and click this button, save button, then the system will create like 10 or 20 POs in one go. It will sort all the materials supplier wise. If you see ARC fabric, only one material is there. BH accessories, there are multiple rows. And BKM packaging. So forever supplier wise, it will group the materials and one PO per supplier, it will automatically release. We have options here, one PO per supplier or one PO per supplier and each required date. So the system will prepare multiple purchase orders in one go. So all that will appear under purchase approval now. Next step, purchase order approval. So if their POs are not approved, there'll be an authorized person who can approve the purchase. It's like digitally approved. Only approved purchase orders will go to the supplier. The PO printout will show approved by who, which user has approved. If it is not approved, then it will say unauthorized purchase order like that. So the purchase orders will go to the supplier and the supplier will supply the material. Okay. So in we saw material planning. From material planning, indents are automatically posted for all the shortage materials and then indents are approved. With reference to indent, purchase orders are placed. In one go, you can prepare multiple purchase orders. If you have your sampling data properly, maintained in the system, this will save a lot of time. And then purchase orders are approved. And then we have approved price list where you can maintain the price list for each and every supplier, each and every material. And then again, purchase returns will be there. In case if you are giving barcodes to the supplier, you can prepare barcodes. And then there'll be bill processing. The supplier will send the bills to the factory for whatever materials they have supplied. There will be a reference to the supplier's DC number. With reference to that number, then the bill processing will happen. So this entire process comes under purchasing, material planning and purchasing. Then that is connected to the stores module, wherein the stores will receive the goods with reference to PO number. So if they don't remember the PO number, they'll just enter the supplier name and then they will enter what materials are received. System will display the PO number. So everywhere tracking is there against which order number they are purchasing, against which PO number they are receiving. So there will be control, like, system will not accept excess quantities to receive. Sometimes there'll be 5%, 10% excess allowed. There is a configuration for each and every group. Like buttons means so many percentage excess allowed. Thread means what excess allowed. Fabric means what is excess allowed, like that. Within that limit, system will accept. But if it is over and above the allowance, then it will not allow them to receive the goods. So someone from the purchasing team should amend the PO or they have to send the material back to the supplier. So these kind of controls the factory will get. So once the GRNs are entered, again in the GRN, the stores person can only enter the quantity. He cannot touch the prices. The prices will be taken automatically from the PO. So GRNs are entered, automatically it will reflect in your stock books, stock ledgers, pending purchase order will be reduced. And for the particular order number, against that order number, material status will be updated. Okay, there's a material status report. This is a material status report. So I can select my X factory date and system will show all the order numbers in that X factory style wise. What is the plan date, X factory date? And these are the groups, accessories, fabric, finish, other materials. So here it shows 85% of my accessories are received. 99% of fabric is received. Here only 48% is received for this particular style number. You can double click here and see why that it is 48%. If you see required quantity is 100, indent placed is only 84. The GRN is 84. Here requirement is 10,000, but they have received only 4860. That is why the percentage is less. So with this, this report doesn't need any other extra input. They give the purchase order, they receive the goods, which is very common in the factory. Anyway, they will update some manual record or some Excel file, right? Instead, they enter it in the system, then you get these kind of reports. So they will monitor. Next week, I have to dispatch my 5 orders. Okay, so for those 5 orders, whether fabrics are received, whether accessories are received or not, they can track. So ideally, like 3 weeks after whatever, 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after whatever you are going to do, depending on the lead time from the supplier, you can filter and see whether materials are in-house or not. If materials are not in-house, you will know at least 1 week before that materials are not in-house. Someone should follow up and collect the material from the supplier. For those kind of action um, decision making, this will be useful. And then in inventory, everything is like a regular inventory movement, material receiving, material issuing, excess material from the floor they will return back, or some damaged goods they will return back, gate passes, stock transfer in between units, stock adjustments, after the auditing, if they want to plus or minus certain quantities, they can do. So these kind of transactions in any kind of inventory movement will be, it's covered in the inventory module. And we also have QC. You can have a inspection report. For every group, you can have material inspection, fabric inspection, like that. You can have different inspection reports and create all the parameters. And then the QC person will say whether it is okay or not okay against each parameter. And then he will say how much quantity is approved. Only that accepted quantity will reflect in your stock ledger. Okay. And then we have an inventory. Yeah, that's all. So stock booking, every process is covered from your material planning to material invert and quality control and book your stock. So till that stage, each and every process in the factory is covered here. The factory can see reports like this. Suppose they want to follow up with a vendor. Okay, so they don't have to remember what are the purchase orders given to them, what is supplied, not supplied. They can go to this pending purchase order report. And this is my old data, so I'm just selecting past duration. So here, this way I have sorted it supplier wise. So from this particular supplier ARC fabric, there are this many pendings are there. From Avery Dennison, I have so many POs pending. BH accessories. If you want to see like my pending purchase orders date wise, you can just move the column here. PO date wise, I want to see. Date wise, PO number wise, supplier, for which customer it has been ordered. It's changing. The sorting order is by date now. And there'll be delay days as well. Number of days delay for this particular purchase order. So they will start following it up with the supplier and get the material. Sometimes, you find that this material, very less quantity is left out. The supplier has not supplied. Then you can manually close the PO. It won't reflect in your pending purchase order. And then there are reports like stock aging reports, stock book, stock aging, stock ledger, stock statement. By lot number or batch number, we have stock. If you see stock statement, you can select a particular store or all stores and then view your stock statement. This is CEO dashboard which will show like reports from multiple departments. So this is the CEO dashboard for the factory head to see what is happening. So now the current month is July. So it is showing July. What are the orders? How many pieces of orders you have? Let's go to April. I'll have some data. Okay, May month. So May month, I have to dispatch 7,765 pieces of order. Out of that, how much is delivered? What's the percentage delivered? Ready to deliver? What's the percentage? Cutting completed 9 percentage. Stitching completed 9 percentage. Assembly completed 2 percentage. This is my a summary of status. And for the same May month, my material position. If you see foam, I received 69 percentage. So again, you can double click and see what materials are shortage and which supplier shortage and all that. And then here, shipment committed versus actual shipment done. You see, these are the number tiles, pending sales, pending purchase order, inventory values, work in progress. This is with reference to your labor hours. So suppose every day you're producing, let's say 5,000 pieces, output is received of different style. For this 5,000 pieces, you are deputing certain manpower in your line. And there is a norm. This particular line, you can depute 10%, the output should be 500 pieces. If you depute 20%, then the output should be, 1,000 pieces. Like that, you have a norm that is called a line balancing. Your engineering team will give at the time of sampling stage how to arrange the line and what will be the line output, right? How many people you have to depute. So there is a budget for the labor hours that you can use for each style. So system will calculate based on the output, which style, what's the output received. For this particular style, how many labor hour, how many hours they should have worked. But in actual, how many hours they have worked. So with that, there'll be a difference here. Output man hours versus actual working hours. These are all like live data for the current date it is showing. Current date, I did not do any tracking. So it shows blank. Otherwise, you will see a beautiful two-line graph. One line will show what is the ideal manpower they should have deputed. The other line will show the actuals. So these two lines are close enough, then there's no problem. If there are major difference, then there's a problem. The labor hours are not utilized properly. Okay, so we have stock aging, we have shipment commitment versus actual, inventory values, pending purchase order values, like that, all key information for the top person in the factory, a factory head or the CEO of the factory can get from this dashboard. We also have purchase dashboard, top suppliers, total purchase, daily, monthly, weekly, category wise purchase, fabric, raw material. These are the two categories I have. Okay. And next stage is the production management. So the production will start with a cutting slip. One order quantity, they'll give us one cutting slip, or if it is a very like a bigger size order, bulk quantity, then they might also do cutting for 2 or 3 days time. So for one day's production, they will do one cutting slip will be prepared. These are my cutting slips for order number 8, sorry. There's only one cutting slip is there. Order number 10, there's one cutting slip. If you see order number 18, there are multiple cutting slips, different sizes. Ideally, like they will do only one cutting slip. Sometimes they do multiple cutting slips. I remember 18. This is the cutting slip. What's this? Okay, so It says like these are the items required for this product. So the cutting slip will also print with the materials required. So the cutter can go to the stores and show this slip. He will scan this barcode and the materials will automatically pop up in a list. What are the material he should supply for this particular cutting slip? And then they'll simply click the save button. Again, the data entry is simplified. Any queries? Till cutting slip?
No, sir. No.
Okay. So once the cutting slip is printed, they will track this barcode. This the same cutting slip they will follow to collect the material and also to record the cutting starting and ending time. So this they will access it through a tab device. So it will look something like this in a mobile environment. So since I'm copy pasting these brackets and all is there, otherwise it won't come. So they will scan the number, barcode number, then the entire data will come automatically. And simply save it. This is the out barcode, cutting output. Okay, so whatever quantity is inverted based on the in, it will show the out quantity. Size wise, it will show these are the quantities, how much is the balance quantity in that cutting slip, how much quantity accepted, rework, rejected. Suppose if I give a rework of 1, then the remaining, sorry, this is rejected. So this accepted will reduce. Out of 17, 1 is rework, 1 is rejected, and remaining 15. So like this, they'll keep recording the data by clicking this. It's asking for the reason for the rejections. So once you do this tracking of inward and outward, and system will calculate the timing. If you give the operator's code, then operator-wise output can be generated. Operator-wise, operation-wise, line-wise, you will see the daily quantity or a weekly quantity, whatever duration you want to see.
I just want to add one more point here is we also use QR code for this now. That's an updated version what we have. Instead of barcode means like you need to have a handle devices. To reduce the cost of the handle device, we have come out with a QR code. The QR code will be printed instead of your barcode.
Okay. So once this kind of tracking is done, I'll show you one video where I have this is the factory video. I think I showed this before. This is how they will scan. So once they scan, the entire data will go to this report and they can see the entire factory production floor information. They can see it in their dashboard. The productivity per hour by each line. We did only one line now, only cutting we did. Otherwise, you will see all the multiple lines over here. So 3 to 4 p.m., what's the quantity produced? So this will show 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12 like that. So this will keep sliding every 10, 15 seconds. Next report it will display. So this is the one visually they will connect a TV and keep it in the floor. And everyone from line supervisor and the operators, floor managers, everyone can see what is the position, real-time status of that particular line. So the data entry point wise, if you see, it's very simple. They do a couple of scans. and then the data is captured, and system will give them a overall picture of real-time status of the factory. It's a target versus actual. Okay, so this is dashboard. I think that's
Shanti, we have
always
one more
the
dashboard, no? Like
uh, line
all the
dashboard.
dashboard, not only line dashboard, one dashboard will, all this dashboard will be in one screen.
Yeah, I'll show
Okay,
you.
not this one. Okay. Yeah.
Mm, that report.
Okay, you can show this dashboard also. You can show like line wise, stitching line wise that.
Okay, this is the one. So this also they have done like it will be sliding. There are two charts here. This one chart. This is another chart. This is line wise. This is reason wise. Production details. Hourly PPH. Plan versus actual. This is like all reports in one page. The other one is like one by one. It will keep sliding. So this way, it's like completely digitalizing your production floor in the factory. Whatever data they enter, it is consolidated and reports are viewed. So after cutting, there is a job card for your preparation and other work. There'll be a job card. So job card will happen like 20 pieces a job card or a 10 pieces a job card. So one job card will have only one size. Here, if you do a printing, see barcode printing. It will be something like this, like a stickers. So if you want like every bundle one sticker or like 10 bundles one sticker, then the tracking will happen in one go for the 10 bundles together or one bundle per barcode like that. So this is also like the same scanning. This is the job card scan. Okay, so the job cards are scanned. This will again reflect in your display board. How many pieces are scanned in which line, which operation, all that the system will display. We have multiple options for the job card. Job stickers are there, job print, uh, job card, job tickets. This format we have. Okay, so here again they will do the in scan and out scan, but for the entire bundle. The 10 bundles means once they receive the 10 bundles, they will scan. When all the 10 bundles are completed, they will again scan. So cutting slip, after that is the job card. And then your finishing line can be either one by one, they can enter after checking each and every piece, they can do it one by one, or with the customer barcode, because the customers will give a barcode, they have to stick it, tag it, and then send it. So the final stage output can be scanned with a customer's barcode. That is also possible. So depending on the job card scanning they do, start and end time, you will have reports like production status report, order status report. So this you can generate for any duration or any order number. Anytime you can generate and see what is the status of that particular order. It's not like line output. It's instead of if you don't want to use the QR code or barcode, but one by one, as and when they take the bundles in their hand, they will inspect and then say okay. So that kind of entries are also possible. So we have like multiple options to collect data, whichever works better for their works best for their particular process. We will suggest them to do it accordingly. Some people will follow barcode scanning or QR code scanning. Some people will, will not follow the scanning, but they will enter one by one. They'll do few touch a tab. They will use a tab device and touch few buttons, and then they will save it. So that is also possible. So this whole thing is in the production, and then we also have subcontracting. So sometimes this embroidery or the some fabric process they outside to the subcontractor. They can have a subcontract order copy with the price and everything fixed. And then with referring this order, the dispatches will keep. You will send dispatches to the supplier. They will finish and send it back to you. So that entire process is available. Subcontract order come DC, subcontract GRN, subcontract material conversion DC and GRN, like this. This is the entire flow for the subcontracting. So you have like sampling sales. We have to see the time and action. So time and action is basically a planning module where you can define the critical path. Suppose this is my critical path for production. So I have BOM, order booking in ERP, IO releasing, purchase order, development, production, dispatch. You can have multiple stages like collecting swatches from supplier, approving the supplier, um, the tech pack handover meetings. Like that, you can have multiple tasks, any number of tasks you can create and you can configure the target days. Now it says 2 days from the order, 1 day from the order, and all this. These are all like flexible. You can give how many days from order it will be completed, or how many days before shipment date this should have been completed. Like that, you can be the system will do a schedule according to this calculation type and this number of days. So it will calculate the target for each and every task, and then it will give you in the report. This is time and action report. You'll see all tasks in the header. Whatever task completed will come in green. Light completed means delayed completion. Red means it's overdue. So when you look at this, you will know like all kind of non-production related activities. What's the target they give? What's the target they achieved? What is pending, not pending? The entire position you will know from this report. So if one task is completed, you can go here and say completed. That's all from my end, I guess.
Shanti, can you also show this time and motion?
Mm. SAM, standard average
Mm.
minutes.
Mm. Additionally, you can also show the production planning. So that advanced production planning with the uh, AI part which you have done to predict the delay.
Okay. That is available in the server. Just 1 minute. I'll just stop and start the server
Um,
there and show you. It's
okay,
not in my
you can.
system, that AI one.
No, it's okay, Shanti. You can show this, complete this, and then finally we can show that.
Okay.
The production planning and everything you can show in this,
I
and
think I
then
have
after.
a PowerPoint. Yeah, and we also have production planning. There'll be a capacity calendar for every month.
You can choose a stitching also. Stitching line.
Right in stitching. There's no proper stitching. Okay, any operation they can select. Let's say assembly. So this will show all the lines and we have to give the capacity per day. So my line is going to work 50 hours today or 100 hours today. Small line, bigger line. Accordingly, they will give a capacity for the line. And for every style, there is a time and motion study. So here you can enter the operation name, sub operation, and how many minutes it's going to take. Like final sizing, embossing, lace coloring, like all small operations you can create. And then timeline for each and everything will be in seconds. But when you run for the whole order quantity, 5,000 pieces or something, then the time will change. Then system will find out whether time is available for that for the day in the capacity calendar. If available, it will allocate. So it's like this. I have like 1,000 hours today. Like 50 people are working, and I have like 500 hours of working today. For this 500 hours, the planning team will allocate the style numbers. These are the styles you should take for this day. So how they will do it? That depends on the time required, standard average minutes required for that particular style, and how much is their capacity. So the allocation will happen automatically in the planning. And then you will get like plan versus actual production reports, how many percentage of the planning they've completed. For that and all, you will have reports. This is the production planning purely from the capacity calendar and the time and motion study. Okay. So we have seen in this sales management starts with a sampling, bulk sales, and time and action planning. And then material planning happens, and for all the shortage materials, the purchase request or indent is prepared. From there, the purchase team process that to PO, PO approval, PO approved prices and everything. And then the stores will receive the goods with reference to PO number and they will account in their books. It will reflect in the stock books, pending purchase order, everywhere. I mean, the order tracking reports. And then after inventory, there is QC also. You will do a quality control and receive the goods. and then the production will start. So production planning, there will be a capacity calendar, and then there will be a production plan. Production plan, the system will do automatically according to the priority you decide during the planning time. And then the cutting happens, and the stitching and assembly happens, and then final packing. So all these things you can do either with a barcode or with a QR code.
Shanti, we have
Okay.
recently included this fabric plan,
Uh,
no? If you have the screenshot, you can share that.
One second, I'll take that file. This fabric process. This is the fabric process. Like basically, um, the finished fabric for the final style in the costing sheet in the bill of material, there will be a finished fabric. How many meters of fabric they are going to use per product. But this fabric, they do a planning and decide whether they're going to buy the finished fabric or they're going to buy yarn and make it, or fiber and fiber to fabric, or yarn to fabric, or gray fabric to finished fabric. So what they are going to do to get this finished fabric. So that's the fabric process. This is again linked with the costing. In your cost budgeting, you will have uh, for this particular style, you're quoting us a certain price. For that, the finished fabric should be this is the price, right? Certain price you are quoting. So when you do the process, fabric process, system will compare after all the process cost, process loss, and everything, whether your pricing for the finished fabric is within the budget. If it is within the budget, the planning will be approved. Fabric planning will be approved. If it exceeds, then it won't be approved. This is the process actually we have given now we are doing in the development. So we have option in the bill of material whether it is confirmed or not confirmed. Or sometimes they'll say this fabric and they will say it depends on the fabric planning. Okay, in that cases, the system will allow them to enter the planning. So in the fabric planning, first they will select the order number, and then system shows, style A and style B. Suppose, let's say there are two styles, there will be two sections. And for style A, there are two fabrics here. Cotton, twill, this 58-inch GSM 300. This is my another style. Sorry, another fabric. This is for style A. And then this is my style B. It has only one fabric. So now I'll be doing the planning. This particular fabric, I'm going to, start from the gray fabric. And then I'm going to do this RFT process and I'm going to get this particular item. And then this item will come automatically here for the dyeing process. Dyeing, compacting, finishing, printing, everything. And then they get this final uh, fabric. This is the one there in the BOM. So they will enter only the materials and the process. We know as per BOM how much meters of this finished fabric is required. You see this is the finished fabric. So for this particular style A, I have this finished fabric. Olive green color is required. 10% is the wastage. So as per BOM, 7.273 meter is required per product. So depending on the order quantity is 120 pieces. For this order quantity, how much is required? We know that. Here for every process, RFD process, there is a process loss. Dyeing, there is a process loss. So the user will not enter this quantity, how much quantity issued and what quantity they have to receive. System will automatically calculate. So I want for 7.273 meters of my norms, 960 meters I need. For this 960 meters, I have to issue this cotton gray, this much quantity, and my RFD is this quantity I should issue. So that I will be able to process 960 meters. This calculation will happen automatically. So the user will have to just issue this material and collect this material quantity received. This much they have to receive from the subcontract unit. Same thing for fabric too. This is a second fabric. So this also again they will change the quantity. This is for the second style. So depending on the loss and everything, system is calculating how much will be the raw material. Gray fabric means gray fabric, how much you will buy. And find out the cost of the gray fabric plus the process cost. What's the total cost? If it is not within the costing price, then the system will not accept this planning. So calculated finished fabric cost will be compared with the finished fabric cost as given in the costing sheet. All these calculations. So this will be useful like when they do the planning, and then from this planning module, subcontract orders will be prepared. Whatever cost and process loss they are planning, the subcontract order will print those details and it will go to the subcontractor. So in each and every process, how much quantity they should issue, how much is the process loss, how much quantity they should receive back from the subcontractor, everything is calculated by the system and the order also will be placed accordingly. If the materials are not received, then the system will show us pending against that particular subcontractor. So it is connected with a subcontracting module. Any queries here in the fabric process?
No, Shanti, no.
Even fiber to fabric also they can do. They can add the percentage of multiple fibers they can mix and issue. There will be different wastage percentage for each and every fiber. Accordingly, the system will calculate the fiber kg or how much they should issue and what fabric they should receive. It's only this planning module we are going to do. We already have a subcontract order, DC, GRMs, everything. Now we are including this planning to so that the calculation will be automated without any manual intervention. That's what you're doing now.
I think we have covered the overall process for the manufacturing part. Do you have any queries? You can ask. We have a Q&A session now. So,
Yeah,
so you
Rajesh,
can just, yeah.
from my side, I think this is quite an exhaustive subject for me. So maybe I would prefer to view the recording again, and I'll reserve my questions for later.
Okay, all right, got it. So we'll schedule another call if you have any other queries. Then,
Sure, sure, Rajesh.
so anything else? So are we good here?
Yes, Rajesh. Like Karthik said, we'll get back to you after the once the recording is shared with us.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, everyone, thanks for your time. So looking forward to get some inputs from you.
We can share the
Thanks a lot,
recordings.
Rajesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nivedan, like any, do you know, have any idea like what, how many the number of users? What is this capacity of this factory?
Actually, Rajesh, I need to check with them, and maybe 5 to 10 users will be in place initial. So let me check with them and come back to you. One thing
Okay.
is that can we integrate with Tally, right?
Yeah, you can integrate, but there will be an integration, there will be a time and there will be a cost involved in that.
Okay.
So
And the
that will be
Tally
that.
partner also will charge
Will charge,
some
yeah.
nominal
There will be
fee.
charges from both ends, from our end
Okay.
as well as from the Tally partner end.
Okay.
We have some Tally partner. We have done it for, we are doing some couple of like places where we are doing the integration.
Okay. Okay.
And if you want, you can also use our um, accounting as well. But they'll be comfortable. If they're comfortable with the Tally, then we will integrate with Tally only.
Okay. Okay.
That is fine. And how
Okay.
many machines or how many lines you have any idea?
Right now it's 4 lines and 60 machines, and
16.
yeah.
So 4 lines
It
means
will
again
get
you
integrated.
need each line, end of the line you will have, there are two options are there. So one is if you wanted to, is it a piece rate or it's a salary?
Salary and piece rate both are there.
Okay. Because we have a
Both.
piece rate module is there.
Okay.
Piece rate calculation is there, and we can also like enable that module where you can scan. And at the moment, like there is one company using this piece rate through our scanning device.
Okay. Okay. Clear.
So they will scan each and every employee, they will scan, and they will also scan the job ticket as well
Okay.
as the operation.
Okay.
So the calculation will be done automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Because Mr. Susindran was asking me to send the proposal. We have a limited here. We have some minimum of 10 users is required.
Okay.
So for to run this. So
Okay.
the production planning, I don't think so. You will need it at the moment.
Okay.
Because that will be too much to lot of implementation time is required, and the time and the implementation effort will be much more high. We can look into the production planning. I just wanted to show you whatever we
Okay.
have
Okay. Understood.
overall.
Understood.
So yeah,
Mm.
that we can take it up at a later stage.
Okay.
Okay then, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks
Fine.
everyone. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
bye.
Thank you.